Alright guys, Galen here, back with more Watch Dogs. We're gonna do the next mission. Let's go. What was it? Role model, I believe is what it's called, right? I should probably actually tag it.
But I think that she was trying to kind of
protect
Danny by saying, you don't need to worry about her. I'm gonna get in good with her.
Wait, where'd my car go? Isn't there supposed to be a car here?
People that you're worried about, like Christmas, because he also mentioned he was worried about Christmas. I'm gonna make an
Oh,
alliance with these people. I'll let you know what they're doing, so you don't have to worry about them. Please don't target them.
I just love how there's like randomly cars just like laying around this island that like no one's been to.
I do think that her trusting Nicole is a bad thing in the long run, especially if she tells her too much information. And I have not seen her making too many other good bonds, and I think that's really the true thing that I'm worried about.
I love Danny. She's so much fun to watch in Big Brother 13. She's really funny. That I just don't know if she can go 85 days without making a big move that might end up really tanking her game. That's the concern. Well, look, it's an all-star season, so like.
Yeah, I feel like Danny is the same person that she was. I should say same player, probably not same player as she was back in BG13.
Dominic Briones was tweeting like there was a question of like what is your favorite player gonna do in one GIF, and he had like a picture of Daenerys coming in, and like I can see a similar sort of like we thought it looked good for a while with her too, you know what I'm saying? Like ultimately she makes a big move that doesn't go great too. And I can certainly see her having her Dracarys moment in this house, but I also don't see it ending with her being the winner of this season. I hear the bells, Rob, the bells. Yes. Yes, Danny, we did it. Like, hold off. Like, no, hold on. No, I still got something up my sleeve. Yeah.
I mean, it's really aggressive. Like, even last night when, you know, no one wanted to leave the HOH room, and then Tyler, who had already, like, cause they were all staying up under the guise of, like, oh, we don't know if the DR's gonna call us. Tyler had already been called to the DR, yet he was still sitting up in the HOH room, and she says to him, like, why won't you go to bed, Tyler? Are you scared? And I'm like, woo, it's night one already. She's already throwing the barbs. But, I mean, I kind of like this chick. I feel like she's so disarming with her honesty that maybe she can ride that all the way to the end. So I'm actually not that opposed to Danny.
Okay. All right. So it comes back to me with the number 8 pick overall, and this is a value pick. Not my first choice, but here we are. It's the second round. We're halfway through this draft. Number 8 overall, and I have to feel like that this person is very good value here. I'm gonna go with my brother Cody. I mean, Cody Calafiore is sitting there, and he is the HOH. People love hanging out with this guy. Is he a master strategist? No, but he's very non-threatening.
What the hell is Jackson doing in here?
People like to work with
racing
him,
van.
and I think he's got a good shot at this thing.
His mother's
so,
here.
Is it gonna be the Taryn
after the auction mess.
Love pick?
These guys will be on high security.
No. But could I use some goodwill with the Calafiore family? You better believe it.
So it looks like it's becoming a group of like Ian, Nicole, Anthony, Janelle, and Kaser, kind of against the Tyler, Cody, Christmas, David, Nicole Franzel group. Oh, we're at this section. Okay.
Nobody's ever called him mean either. Like he's a really cool guy. People like hanging out with him, and they like his personality. I do remember on Big Brother 16 that sometimes he did have a little bit of a temper, and like Derek would have to like hold him back. But I don't think like that's not his nature. I feel like when he truly gets riled up is he gonna be like that. So assuming that doesn't happen, which it probably will happen, but assuming it doesn't happen often, I think you can keep it under control. Yeah, and he's gonna work with the guys, but hopefully he also has some relationships with the women. And if he goes up on the block with another guy, hopefully it's the other guy that goes home. Yeah. And people don't worry as much about him. Yeah, I agree with that. I think that his alliance. Nobody's looking at him like, oh, that was the guy we had to worry about. Like, Tyler is that guy. Cody is not that guy. And so if they're ever together, if they're ever put together by the house, they're going to look at Tyler or somebody like Tyler and not Cody. They're not going to worry about him necessarily. And they should worry about somebody like Cody because he's really non-threatening. He's very good socially. People love hanging out with Cody. And if there was somebody that I wouldn't want to face socially against a Big Brother jury, it would be Cody Calafiore because people just love him so much.
Down. And I'll tell you what he's not going to do here with his first iteration. He's not going to come away from this with like, all right, I'm going for the big game hunting here this week. He's going to come up with something, I think, that is going to be not get a lot of blood on his hands. He's going to build a consensus. He's going to talk to people. This isn't going to be like a Cody Nixon, the other Cody, HOH week, where everybody comes away from week one being like, oh my God, Cody, what a jerk.
Jackson's safer in there until these guys are taken care of.
I'm with you. I think Cody is definitely one of the top picks, if not the top pick on the board. I think that he came in as that. He's not ruined it. I think that he probably plays the best pregame. I think when he came in, he won the first HOH. That's good for him. He hasn't screwed that up yet. He's been making solid connections. He's got a great social game. He's underrated as a strategist. I think that he's a very, very dangerous player, and I think he has a great chance to win. All right, Melissa, we are back to you here in the second round with the 9th pick overall, with Amon on deck for 2 picks in a row at 10 and 11.
This is really hard because there are pros and cons with everybody left.
A couple people maybe no pros.
Yeah, maybe. No, but I'm leaning towards somebody, but I feel like this somebody is too similar to my other pick, and so I'm kind of like, am I making a mistake by picking people that are so similar that like, or maybe it's one of those things where I think it's better to pick similar people to one of them.
And for the reminder, let's pick Memphis in round number 1 with the 2nd pick overall.
Yes. I'm
Perfect. Oh wow.
I'm just gonna pick Enzo.
That's the first time ever I've been able to do stealthy Enzo.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's probably about right.
I just feel like he's funny and entertaining, and people seem to
Wow.
like,
Did we really just do that?
he's a
I've
fun
never
guy
done
to
that
be
either.
around, and I
It's
feel
incredible.
like that'll carry him. I mean, at least in the beginning, you want to just be the fun guy, the guy people like, not the annoying guy, but the guy that is just fun to have around. And I already feel
I want to get that, don't I?
that they
Yeah.
oh,
That's good.
like Enzo's fun. I like hanging around Enzo, whatever. And he doesn't really seem threatening. And then, I feel like he fits in with the older crowd, and also he seems pretty good against the younger crowd. Janelle already talked about how he could be like for Howie, and then also like Cody was already talking about working with him as like a bros thing. So I do feel like he's got some good in with everybody. But I don't think he's gonna be one person out there to be the threat. So I'm a little worried because he's very similar to Memphis in that he's like one of the old school players who's a guy who's whatever. But
Perfect.
Yeah,
That's good. It's probably the best I've ever done that.
Enzo's head always this big?
left weight, so that's why.
Yeah,
part of it,
too much
honestly.
weight, I think.
He looks good, though. He had his shirt off. He looks good, Rob. I like this pick as well. I was considering picking Enzo.
Picture?
What?
No. Sorry.
Look, I think Unconscious Zone in the chat has it right, where he or she says that Enzo's the kind of guy you wouldn't mind giving $500,000 to. Like, I feel like that's certainly true. So I don't really worry about him winning a jury vote or having the chops to be able to do that. It's getting there that's the problem to me. He's not a comp beast. On the other hand, does he really need to be one? The one thing I don't like about the season so far is only been 24 hours, so there's that. But it does seem like Amon noted.
I find it very interesting that Danny has said like a billion times now that she really likes Tyler.
The Meow Meow is already talking with Cody and Tyler about
which I find really
the
interesting.
guy thing, and everybody is doing their same old. Like, is there no one who understands changing up their
Yeah, I
game
feel
a
pretty
little
good
bit?
about Tyler,
I mean,
to be
a lot
honest,
of
at this
these
point.
people
I do think
hated
he's going to get
Final Four,
targeted,
Final Three,
but I think he has the connections
Final
right
One,
now,
and
at
so
least,
basically
to
no
save
reason to change
himself.
up their game. So,
In most
I
cases.
like the pick, and I do
What
think
was
that
I
it's
thinking?
here for the long haul. I really do.
That's not who
Though,
I
to be
am.
honest, I think one of his
Yeah,
worst
I
scenarios is
think
against
so,
Cody,
too.
and I think
feel
that's
like if
probably the
he
most likely scenario.
continues doing what he's doing socially, I feel like he's probably going to make it far once again. And like Brent said, does he even really need to win any physical comps to make it that far? I do feel like maybe towards the end, he should probably think about winning a few.
I do feel like he needs to. Yeah, but he's gonna need some blood on his hands. If you won an HOH at some point during the game, Amon, I feel like that would be good for him, especially if there's like a consensus house target, because
There's so
he
much
could not
else I
have
could
won at
explain
the
here.
end of his original season. He thinks he could have, but he couldn't. People saw him as too much of dead weight. He's gonna have to prove himself, especially in an
Sorry
all-star
about all
season,
this, Jax.
that he belongs.
Yeah, and I feel
I
like
know it's
the
not easy.
point of like not alienating the women is also really strong in that like one of the last images of your game is you along with the rest of the brigade letting Brittany know, oh honey, it's not
Jax.
gonna work out for you. So it's like sorry. I feel like if you do
And I
that
have to
same
deal
thing where you're trying to do this guy
These bad
thing, that
guys.
I just don't know if that's gonna
need you
fly.
Oh, it should be
I-
interesting too
I-
that
I
Danielle
think we get too
Reyes
far,
did
fine, but I
talk
don't
about why
necessarily
she's
know
not
if
on the
we're gonna
season.
award
Supposedly
money
it's
for
because
that.
of COVID.
So I hope
And if it
that
wasn't
have
because of that, she
something
would have said
more
yes.
well-rounded
Or would have,
approach
it's because
to that
the
track.
effects of COVID on the economy and
One of the things
everything.
I was looking for from Enzo this season was
It's like,
can he
yeah,
make
just
some close
it
personal
would've been so
bonds,
great.
and I have not seen that
that's
yet.
the
He is
game.
great in a crowded room. He is so good. He is great.
Life of the
just
party.
talking. Yeah, like anybody
Yeah.
can talk to him and they'll be laughing and it'll be great, but there's no personal connection that's going on, and that was his problem in season
I'm
12.
warning you.
As in he
If
didn't
I
have
don't
a
hear from his
parachute.
mother
He didn't have any of
soon,
those
I will
close
call the
allies.
police.
And his closest allies chose each other to go to the end with. And that's a problem that I'm seeing here with Enzo. Cody was talking to Nicole about, I'm just waiting for Enzo to come up and do the, bro
Okay.
thing. That's just how they see, that's how they see Enzo. Like, there's
Got one
nobody
move.
that's yeah, there's nobody's like, Enzo's my ride or die. Let's go. I'm with Enzo all the way.
It's time.
He needs that. I think there's plenty of time for him to
I
get
appreciate
it.
what you did from get to bread.
But I
Iraq
actually
couldn't
don't love
believe it.
how good he
But he
is
did
in
believe
these
it,
big
right?
open
Yeah,
settings
yeah, he did.
because people
And
see
he's
it.
all
It's very
proud
visible.
and
You
shit.
have nothing in private. It's really
I can't
backed up.
risk pissing
So,
him off again,
when
man.
he did
You
the last time with
understand?
the brigade,
There's a
he
bar
doesn't
near
quite
Ross.
yet.
Oh, yeah,
So
right.
I think he's okay. I don't think he's in trouble anytime soon.
Deep
But
free
win
mark.
equity is something that I'm
What
I
mission
found
is
something
this?
in the trash.
I
Is
agree
this
with
the,
that. I
uh,
think the best case scenario,
Okay.
Enzo could be like a fan
Listen,
favorite,
you
could eat up a
gentlemen
lot of
had the
airtime on
option.
The one where we have to
show.
follow him
Nobody
with
gets to
the
decide
cameras and
Guys,
everything?
he's gonna
Including
do
We'll be discreet.
crazy things in the
Come
house,
on,
and I think you
man.
could get a lot of segments like on a Wednesday night show of like, have you heard this thing about Enzo's doing?
How do we? No, that's not what I meant to do.
There's no nuance to his game. There's no subtle manipulation from Enzo, and I just don't see again a house of all-star players that the Enzo game is gonna work, where Enzo ends up being the winner at the end of the season.
Yeah, and when you have Tyler stepping up on the final two deals, when one
We have an
person
update on
gets
recent
five
reports of an escape from Chicago Correctional. Prison officials have released surveillance footage of the escaped felon. Police are
I
asking
think
viewers to
his
call the hotline
win
if they have any
scenario
information about
is
this
that
man.
he's like in the final three with someone who's hated and then ends up getting the fact that he played such a great game over the other person. I think that he could end up being a person who ends up like a hated person who drags into the end as a goat. And they say, no, we like Enzo. Yeah, possibly, or like the last HOH is usually like some sort of crapshoot. I think that again, I think that Enzo could win.
Yes, I think it is.
He's going to have to play a little more aggressive.
Demonstrated flaw in the
less
power grid.
behind the scenes.
Hacker Rain.
That's right. How do we bring up the phone? What button is that?
Makes a good point about the fact that as far as like
Chicago
personal
CTOS
conversations,
is
I don't know if I
vulnerable.
remember Enzo even having those on his original season. Like he's got to be able to connect with somebody on a more personal level. Okay, all right. It's Amon time. Amon, you get 2 in a row. We'd love to hear who
the first of those picks are to close out the second round, number 10 overall.
Hey, don't make a guy drink alone. Come and have a drink.
Let me also set the stage of who's still on the board.
No.
We have, right now, still, there are
Whatever.
10 that are still on the board. It's Ian Terry, David Alexander. There are 4
It's
women
up. It's
still
up.
on the board.
I fucking
They
remember.
are
I'm a
Janelle,
fucking idiot.
Christmas,
Yeah, what act are
Nicole
we in?
Anthony,
That's what I want to look up.
Keisha.
Okay, we're still in Act 2. Okay.
Nicolette. Sorry, both Nicoles.
You forgot Nicole F? Oh my gosh,
9,
she's gonna call CBS today.
I was
15.
trying to read them in a random order.
Okay, so we're over halfway through the
My, draft
game
order.
mission-wise.
Things got
39
close back, getting all
missions.
sloppy.
Oh no, we're not
I
over
am
halfway.
going to
Shit.
choose
Never mind. We're close to halfway point though.
Nicole Anthony.
Nicole Anthony.
Yay!
I would not be
I think that she is the definition of a waste of an HOH, and I mean that in a good way. I think that you put her on the block, everyone else is asking
Bedbug better
you.
come through.
So
Putting a
the
lot
other
of
one
faith in this
needs to
kid.
go
I
home,
don't know
right?
if he's up for
Because
the job.
why are we sending Nicole Anthony home?
He's the cleanest way in right now.
That may make it
Let's
seem
hope we
like
don't
she
kill her.
is a player of no agency. I don't think that's the case. I think that she had a very good run in BB21. I think that she was, targeted in the beginning of the game and then was able to weasel her way out because there were bigger targets that emerged. I think that is likely to happen.
Okay, so
once
Diane
again,
has come
but
out and
she's
said that she
also
was
a
never
girl
in
who can
contention
save
for the season.
herself if she needs to.
She's an
I think
AMA.
that she's good with the comps. I think that she's good with people. Everyone likes her. The Danny and Nicole thing does scare me. That does scare me.
So I wonder where that
I
rumor
don't
came from
know
though.
if Danny
Because
and
Reality
Nicole are gonna
BBQ
have
even
the
had that
power to
rumor.
be like, no,
Obviously he ended up
she's
being
gotta
accurate
go. I feel
at
like
the end of
people
the
are
day.
gonna look at them and be like, really?
Um,
Nicole Anthony? If y'all
that's
don't
interesting.
put freaking Janelle up there, if y'all don't put Cody up there, if y'all don't put somebody
Oh no,
else
it
in
wasn't Reality
Nicole up
BBQ.
there,
It
like,
was no, mine. It was
I feel
Ox
like
Kidwell,
she'll-
wasn't
I
it?
feel like she'll
Yeah, it was
stay.
Ox
I feel
Kidwell,
like
and then
she'll
it was Brent.
win out at the end.
So I guess they probably had
Story,
a similar source.
I love her,
Gotta get
and I
inside that
just-
building and stay very close to
I feel
Bedbug's
good about
signal.
Nicole.
If we lose communication, that could panic the kid.
She's in a good spot, I
Need
think.
to keep him
What
calm.
do you mean X-Signal mission?
She's connected to Kevin. I think that's great for her. She's connected to Kaser, which can be good for her if Kaser stays. I think that she can work with Ian. I haven't seen much of it yet, but Ian likes her, and he mentioned her to Nicole Franzel. And really, it is. The problem is Nicole Franzel and Danny. And I do think that is an issue. It is a reason to target her. It makes it easy to go, all right, let's do this. If Nicole...
Okay, cool.
What the fuck is going on?
To target, I think Nicole is that person right now. I think that will be cause for concern. That said, I think that she simultaneously overrated and underrated. But I think but that's as an underdog. That's as somebody who is fighting to survive. She's never really played from the top, and I'm really curious to see how she plays it from here. The win equity again, though, is something that I'm concerned about. Without being, if she's not an underdog, does she have the juice to win a jury vote? I'm not sure.
See, I can see her being targeted. I know, Man, you said she's a waste of an HOH, but I'm thinking if I'm HOH, that I feel like that Nicole Anthony is the easiest person to get out of the house. I'm going to put her up on the block and say, Nicole, I love you, you're the best, nothing personal, but, I just had to. We didn't really connect. And she's not going to be swarming around the house like, you know what, screw Rob, he's going home, everybody, like, she's just going to take it.
You.
And I think that she's an easy mark to get out of the house.
I feel like she's not one to storm around the house because she's gonna tell you not to put her on the block in the first place. I mean, she went up to Cody today and had a little brief conversation with him, and Cody was like, "Okay, you're good. You're good." And I feel like she can continue to do that week after week. I mean, it's gonna be a little different story, like Terrence said, if it's Danny or Nicole that is sitting up there. But I question as to whether or not Danny and Nicole are gonna win HOH and get her out before they get out themselves. So. I feel like she's in a really sweet spot right now.
Just listen to what I say and move when I tell you.
Here's an
And watch out for you.
Nicole regarding the safety suite. let's say Janelle wins this competition and chooses to save
Move
Kayser.
ahead.
Janelle and Kayser are now off the board.
It ain't worth it, man.
The other options that Cody mentioned
Go,
were Keisha
quickly.
and Ian.
Alright.
Nicole Franzel pushed back pretty hard on both of them. I am
Move.
very willing to bet that Nicole Franzel will be pushing hard for Nicole Anthony to be a replacement
Relax.
instead of Keisha
How old are you?
or Ian.
19. I'm 19, man.
Next to one
Jesus.
of these, Keisha or
You're still a
Ian.
kid.
And
Grandma
that,
says I was
her
always
and
big
Ian
for
will
my
try to
age.
round up the votes to get her sent home. I could see Nicole
Move it.
still at this point in time being the first booth.
Okay, move.
Ah, shit. Yeah, I fucked that up.
I mean, no, I mean, she's definitely the backup for the backup, right? It's kind of like, you know, we have to wait and see what's going to happen. I do worry about Keisha, because she's someone that's sort of like in
That's
that
a pretty
same
good choice.
spot. Maybe Nicole goes before Keisha.
I'm 19, man.
So I mean, it's a
Surprising
fair
because this
point.
game's
I
checkpoint
just-
stuff.
I'm just willing to
Grandma
bet
says
that's
I was
not
always
going
big for my age.
to happen. I just feel like, I mean, especially because only Janelle or Kayser are going to be safe, right? Like one of them, like both of them can't be safe unless they save one another.
Yeah, but honey,
Might
Now,
Tara,
go.
tell him.
Okay.
If Janelle wins this, she has to say. I mean, I know you want to like not be seen as, but if you think that you were about to be put up, you know it's going to be next to Kayser. You have to save Kayser there.
You think Kayser tells her not to, though? You think Kayser tells her not to and wait for the veto?
Oh, yeah, don't say me. Please don't say
I mean,
Hey, in fairness,
I mean-
maybe not Kayser's worst move.
I think it's feasible. Janelle was talking to Keisha before the feeds cut for the competition, and they basically convinced each other to play, which was kind of a funny moment. It was like, wait a minute, what did I
Okay,
say?
now.
Yeah.
Go, go.
But I could see a scenario depending on
Why
how
are you
this
hanging
comp plays
around
out
with these
where they make a
assholes?
deal with it. If they're
My
two people
family.
competing and they're competing
Well,
with each other,
thought they were.
Let's go. Back to themselves,
You got family?
but they were
No.
also speculating that this might take
No.
place
You?
in the
Probably.
room. If that's so, it might be an individual, like
Don't
one by
make me
one
laugh.
kind of competition, which
Yeah.
also seems feasible to me.
That could be bad.
It could go any which way, but if Janelle wins and if she saves Kayser, then there
That's
are
ridiculous.
steps involved. But I do think Nicole could be in trouble.
Move
Yeah,
it.
I'm very taken with what Rob said, and that's why I was not persuaded to take Nicole Anthony. I think there's a couple things going on. Number one, like you said, she doesn't really have any ties to anybody. If Cody's looking to get out a consensus target, and Janelle and Kayser are through the veto or through some other reason that the safety suite are safe, I do worry about Nicole Anthony. Also, the fact that she has like Nicole Anthony is not totally pure this season, in that, like, we viewed her last season as totally pure. I love him, but Eric Curto is Nicole's best friend who runs reality recaps, and there's been a little bit of drama within outside the house and with inside the house about the fact that obviously they ghosted them for their podcast, and there's some under the radar story about what really happened there. So
Can I ask
know
one
that
question about the podcast
Now,
ghosting
go.
thing?
Yeah,
Like, I feel like it's, and this happens. Like, you reach out to people, not everybody's
Ain't
interested
working,
in being on a podcast. It's like,
Yes.
no big deal. But why are they?
Alright.
The reason they ghosted, were they booked
Okay,
to be on the
move.
podcast and they
I
no
don't
showed, or they
I'm thinking.
No, they just didn't respond to her
Yeah,
messages.
it sounds like
they
that she
respond,
sent
yeah.
the message. They didn't answer. Why are they mad at her? It's like, oh, we
doing?
ghosted her for the podcast. Now we have to get her out. She didn't do anything.
Just get
She
close
just
I think
enough.
they're worried.
on the
On the
podcast.
rack, get in, man.
I think they're worried
Hold up a
about
second.
her being
They
mad
Talk
at
to
them.
your camera.
The reason they didn't respond at all, and they didn't even read the message, is because I think they don't like the podcast or the people on it.
They don't like Eric.
And I think so. Like Nicole Franzel in particular,
Appears through
like
there.
she has beef with Eric Curto,
Why are you doing this,
and
man?
so when she's reached out
Think
to
you're
be on the podcast
It's
and she doesn't even
complicated.
respond to
We
it,
got plenty
she
of
feels
time.
like the
Iraq
message
was
has been
involved
sent.
in something that
Like
hurt
I'm
my
not doing
family.
that podcast. I don't like this
No
guy.
one
He said
answers.
bad
That
things
ain't
about
so
me.
complicated.
And so they like, there's beef there.
Yeah,
I mean,
like Rob. I take your
And in
point.
fairness, that to Eric Curto, Nicole doesn't like Brent either.
Yeah, exactly.
So don't make this about Eric Curto.
It's not about Eric Curto. It's just the fact that it's about the perception in the house. It's just about the perception that Nicole Franzel has. If Nicole Franzel perceives that there's some beef there, that she has sent a message to Nicole Anthony, then it doesn't even matter what the truth is. It just matters that she thinks there's something there.
And we had had Nicole as a guest on this podcast.
Nicole, which one?
Nicole. Well, we had Nicole Anthony talked with Taryn after the season. But we had Nicole Franzel and Victor on after the Amazing Race. After we agreed that Brent was not going to be on the podcast, and then it was fine. So maybe if Nicole said, "Hey, you have a problem with Eric, you won't be on this one," or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
She's amenable.
Oh, fuck off.
Well,
She is.
I wasn't expecting this.
Nicole knows,
I told you, man. I told you. Ain't nobody but Iraq.
Quiet.
That's the
because
thing.
she doesn't seem to have any idea, and she's also like talking about Eric, like she's referring to him in open conversation, like which like other people are talking about Evil Dick in open conversation with Danny walking around, like not always the best decision I think at times, but it's happening.
Yeah, I'm just worried about Nicole because it seems
How
like
are we
she's
supposed
not
to do
really
this? Wait.
connecting with everyone. I think that there are certain people she's connecting with, but especially with
Guess I
like
have to do this
the
one
larger
first, don't I?
conversations or like, it just seems like there are some people there who aren't big fans of her and who, are. I'm worried about her chances. I'm worried that it's going to be another situation where she's on the outs again and she can't like find her way into like the big group or like even a strong group. And so I'm worried. And like you guys all said, like she doesn't have any strong connections going into the house. Like, yeah, sure, she could probably make some while she's in there, but everyone else seems to have like somebody that they're connected to. So I'm a little worried about her chances.
I want to also add that another thing going against Nicole Anthony is that reality stars, and I'm not speaking from personal experience, they hate new hotness. Where here's Nicole Anthony, she went to the end, fan favorite among a unpopular cast, runaway fan favorite. She's the you shoulda won person from Big Brother 21. There are going to be other players that don't like that. They want to take her down a peg, and I can certainly see Nicole Franzel being one of those people, especially that she has the same name as another Nicole. She's a fan favorite. She's a threat to some of these players who want to be the face of Big Brother. And no better way to get rid of a threat than to pluck them instantly from an all-star season and
Wait,
throw
that's
them to
not
the
enough.
side.
Go
Good
back.
luck podcasting now. Haha.
Hey, boy, what's this shit? No, look, it ain't what it look like. What it look like to you? Because it look like a super-sized fucking betrayal to me. How the fuck you even get in here?
Hold on. Mentioned it on the feeds.
I love you, man. You know that.
Nicole released a podcast.
Who want you, Quinn?
Which one?
No, wait, man. Don't lie to me. Don't you fucking lie to my face. This how your opinion can tell you that. Come on, cuz, don't we family. You know what you
Probably
mean.
registered
You made
Nicole
me
has
do
a
it.
podcast, and now they're tied up in litigation.
Fuck.
And in that podcast, I haven't listened to it myself yet, but apparently there was a specific reference to this beef with a podcast that she felt wrongly
What just happened? He did
She
everything
said,
right.
blind item, there's a podcast that I don't like.
Did he just murder his own cousin? Did I get him killed?
But that they were talking about, I don't know, like I said, I haven't listened to it.
I didn't get much data. I hope there's enough.
I mean, this podcasting drama is interesting and everything. It honestly is. But, I mean, Nicole Anthony's also been on Nicole Franzel's podcast as well. So I'm just like, I don't know.
But I think that happened right after the season. I think that if I have to that she probably came off the show, went on Nicole's podcast, and then when Nicole became a podcaster, maybe that's where the rest started.
It did, but are they
I'm gonna hit him hard. Watch it.
all for that, or are they just apprehensive because they ghosted her when she asked for them to be part of it? And if Eric is keeping this drum of this beef of this, which he might be doing,
Alright, we're here. Let's do this.
in the first place, then Nicole doesn't have any animosity towards these two, and if that comes to light, who's to say that Nicole and Dane drop it? You know what I mean? So I'm just not as like the narrative with like y'all are on some
And I take your point upon. Exactly. Like that's the thing. Like,
but it's not all Anthony. This isn't like
What the fuck? Damn,
a firecracker. You know what I mean?
it doesn't matter. Like earlier
I think it does. I think
it's with somebody with a bit of a fire check.
exactly. So like, why are you really gonna take it out on her?
I think it's
Yeah.
I think it's an easy target. It's like, okay, well, we have this beef, like, what
that's it.
may
We ain't gonna catch him. Let's roll
we have
out.
this issue. We're nervous that she might have this issue with us, or that she might have talked to Eric and gotten some intel about us. Even if she
Tell
says,
me you got
we're good, we're good.
It was only a
It's,
partial
it's hard to
download,
tell,
but
so
I
it's totally
definitely
possible
got
that they might
something.
be like, look, like,
It looks like
we don't want to
his
risk
computer
it.
is
This
full
is
of
all stars. Like,
blackmail.
it's an easy out. She doesn't
I mean,
have
I-
any husbands.
Yeah,
Just listen to
I
these
take that point.
bulletins.
Like, I mean, perception is everything. I just don't know if like they're gonna be able to.
Bloom
I mean,
CEO
the whole thing with the safety
CTOS
suite,
breaches.
that is cause for
Iraq's sitting
concern.
on the
I
most
totally
dangerous
agree.
weapon
I mean,
in the
but
city.
if she's able to
No wonder
survive
the
through
cops
that,
stay away. He's probably had a
Okay.
chat with the
All right,
police
we'll
chief.
see. All right, I'm on. Lost
Can you
in all
see
this.
what's inside the
Another
folders?
pick.
Not yet. I'm
We'll see.
trying.
okay.
Is there a folder for the Merlot?
I can't believe we
Merlot.
spent 20 minutes talking
Yeah,
about
there is.
podcast drama
Good.
that didn't even involve Brent.
I'll be listening.
It did a little.
A little bit, slightly.
Tangentially.
Yeah. Don't bring up Tangela.
Oh my god.
Okay. All right.
That's the
I'm trying to.
Come on, what just
three
happened
skill
over there?
points.
I'm trying to figure out if I want to celebrate the holidays right now, or
Yeah.
if
Celebrate.
I'm trying to go with a former winner.
I think you gotta go Nicole in this situation.
And I feel like
Bedbug, you're alive.
3-hour show, man.
You need to get out of there.
I'm sorry. I cannot believe that this is about to come out of my mouth.
maybe I could help you get your answers. You know,
I'm going with Christmas as it. Okay?
What the fuck?
All
I
right.
thought about it. She's up there.
How are you not picking Nicole Franzo in this situation? Like, who's left?
Okay,
Rose
I
Washington.
look.
And we got what? Keisha,
A lot
Janelle.
of people that I have seen on
Not
the
Christmas is gone.
in the past
Okay, thanks.
have
That might help.
really like, you know,
Who's the
they would've
guy?
driven
Who's the
past
last?
Christmas
David
before,
Alexandra.
but they're,
Yeah, I mean, I think
backing up, and they're
100%
like,
you'd be picking Nicole
they go out
Franzo.
the window and they're like,
You're good,
oh,
Bedbug.
okay. Look, the girl has a story, all right? She broke her damn foot on the first season. She was supposed to be this physical
Oh,
threat.
well,
but we
yeah,
never
we'll
got to
end here.
see any of it. Some of the HOHs that she won were completely handed to her because Paul made it so. I feel like she's the most non-threatening person right now that a lot of people are probably gonna overlook. She doesn't
Iraq's
have
got
Josh.
dirt on a lot of people.
Okay.
His computer's full of it.
However,
Everybody from
having
politicians
Tyler,
to
who's doing
CTOS
a lot
execs.
of work and is going.
Merlot
I think
is in
that
there, too.
She is probably one of the final twos.
I told you it was
most
there.
interested
It's encrypted.
in
I don't have
keeping
access
along.
to it, but
So,
that video we
because
found at the Merlot,
they have
the
no
woman's
reason
name is
really not
Rose
to trust
Washington.
one another because both
Rose
of their ride or dies that they wanted are out of the game. So I feel like this is a chance for her to really redeem herself. I feel like
I followed your IP.
she can stay out of
Now
people's
give me
crosshairs
my
and
sister.
blow up
We're
because
just starting.
Christmas does have the
That video is
tendency
important to someone.
sort of, you know,
Important enough to
have a bit
attack
of a
me,
short
to
fuse,
attack your
but I feel like
Careful,
2019,
Damien.
everybody
Come
had
on, I
had
know
a
you
short
wanna follow
fuse.
this to the
So
end
I'm
as much as I
wondering
do.
if
That was an ordeal.
in this
Oh,
more
but it was.
placid
You said it's
environment,
encrypted.
for now,
Then your job's
will
not
she
done.
be able to
No,
make
you're not
deeper
gonna do
connections
this.
with
I can
more
do whatever I
people
want.
and more people like the audience,
Hey, it's
like
me.
in that house, are like, you
Nikki,
know what?
how
I
you
like
doing?
Christmas. I mean,
I'm
her and Bay
tired.
are starting to get a little bit of, you know, closeness going
They're
on.
taking care of
She was,
me,
you
I
know,
guess, to
sharing personal stories with
come get
Kaser
me,
and Tyler
please.
earlier today.
Okay,
I feel like
there's
there's
other
a
people
shot
with you.
for this woman
All right,
to
that's fine.
really have the redemption
Just be ready for
that
anything.
she is looking for.
Come and
And
get
I mean,
me.
honestly,
I need
when
to
Josh
see
shared
Jack.
that picture of
How's
them
he doing?
FaceTiming when they both found out
He's-
about All Stars, and like the
He's a
look
brave
of emotion
boy.
on her face when she
Takes
did
after
not
his
think that she was
mother.
gonna get called back.
But
I
he's
think that she
stubborn
is
like a bullheaded uncle.
seriously. I mean,
Yeah, I guess he is.
Yeah.
Doesn't take no
I
for an
honestly
answer.
think that she is
Time's
not,
up.
she's here to take this
Not done.
competition by the balls and really
I
just
should
show
have
that she
expected this
can
from Damien.
do all the things that she set out to do
Working
for the
an
first
angle.
time, and I think that she has the tools to do it.
Want something
Yeah,
more.
I know. I agree about that photo. When I
Got
saw that
sucked in the
photo,
story,
One thing at a
Amon.
time.
when I saw that
Need the rest
photo,
of
I
Iraq's blackmail.
was like,
Then
okay,
I
she
got
cares
leverage.
about this. Like, I
Then
kind of thought,
you
like,
can deal
okay,
with
she's
Damien.
back for her brand, like, whatever. But now, like, after seeing that, it shows that she really cares.
Alright,
Like,
we're done.
and
Next episode we'll
I'm
continue
very
on.
impressed
Well,
with her
thanks for
so
watching.
far. It seems like everybody